My dear sisters and brothers, you have gathered today being the fourth day in preparation for the feast of your patron, Our Lady of Assumption. And I'm sure that after this fourth day, you will move to the fifth day. And then you'll go on for how many days? 9 days. And that you call Novena. Novena. What is the meaning of Novena? Shall I come for Novena service? What is the meaning of that? You all said 9 days. 9 days. Why 9 days? Not 8, 7, 10. We get tired by the ninth day. 8 is too short. The word novena comes from the Latin word novem, N-O-V-E-N, novem. For some who know Konkani, novem means new, right? And biblically, there's a tradition that between the Ascension Sunday and Pentecost, there are supposed to be 9 days. And so there is some tradition to say and connect 9 days because of that. And 9 days is meant to help us go through the process of faith, reflection, prayer, and change of life. It's not about sticking out and say first day, second day, third day, fourth day, and then ninth day, as if we are done. And the 9 days is supposed to help us churn through our lives and say, what has happened to me these 9 days? What have I made of myself? What has become of me? It's not counting every day and say, these are my petition each day. Take a theme and reflect about it. Yes, that is essential, it's important. But what grows important is who I become, what this community becomes 9 days later. Because then you can celebrate your feast. 9 days. And today, as you reflect on how progression in the various themes is about this word called witness. Mary being a witness to God's will. Witness. And if I were to ask you, what is the meaning of this word witness? Various things will come up in the mind. Witness is someone who has seen something, heard something, and then gives testimony to it. Is that right? You see them in the court of law, right? They are called to the witness box to say something they have seen, they have heard, they've experienced. And one who does not see, one who does not experience, cannot be a witness. If there's a fight going on or an incident taking place, you cannot go and narrate it to someone if you have not seen it. And therefore, today, as you reflect on this theme that Mary is a witness to God's will, it means that she had that experience, she heard, she saw, and she was able to be that witness of what God did to her. And that is the question to you and to me. What type of a witness am I to my Catholic faith in my own home, my place of work and study, the place where I live in this parish community? What type of a witness am I? When spouses look at each other, parents look at each other, children look at each other, family members, society members, what witness am I? We can have many incidents narrated, and one that strikes out for me as I make this reflection is about one of our recent mission congresses that took place at St. Pius College in Goregaon, I think about 15, 13, 14 years back. And the mission congress was an awakening for our church in India. We had representatives from all the dioceses, 144 dioceses in the country, each one coming there, bishops, priests, religious, lay people, and everyone there's like was a celebration of our identity. And there we were supposed to talk, to listen, to hear what people are going through, are experiencing. And among the many intellectuals who spoke, the many bishops and cardinals who gave testimony, one witness stood out. She was a widow of a man who was killed in Kandamahal. going back to 2008 when Kandamahal in Orissa was attacked simply because of her identity as Christians. She had lost her family. I think one son was left. And for those who are very small and have not read, please go to the internet and read what happened in Kandamahal. That people were raped, people were killed, houses were burned, churches were burnt, only because we were Christians. And a lady who came out there and she was asked that you lost your family, what do you want from the church? And what is it that you would want? If you have lost your house, you've lost your family, you have no sustenance, what will you ask? There was a recent plane crash in Ahmedabad. There were big payouts. There were a lot of people asking for money. Somebody's going to file a suit in America now against various individuals and agencies. They want compensation. Any road accident, any accidental death in the hospital, you look for compensation. They were asking, what compensation do you want the church to give you? And what she said there shook everybody up. We were expecting to say, give me a house, give me a job, give me sustenance, all those things. She only said, declare a husband and those who were killed as martyrs of Kandamaha, martyrs. She could say what she wanted and the church would have given her. But among the many material things that she asked, people hoped she would ask, she only said, declare them as martyrs of the church. That in death they were able to be witnesses to who they were. And she wanted to continue as a legacy of those who died and were killed. And I asked myself, what if I was in Kandamaha? What sort of a witness would I be? And you can ask yourself today, what sort of a witness are you today? For our reflection, I look at Mary, that's the theme, that she was a silent witness, not a noise making witness, a silent witness to what God asked of her. And I'll take 4 points from her life. And the first one being that Mary was a witness of obedience. Obedience. All of us are knowledgeable about the angel Gabriel coming to Mary and saying, Mary, would you not be the mother of my son? And Mary is shocked, she's taken aback. She's a young girl, barely 14 or 15 years old. And an angel coming there and saying, disrupting her life, be the mother of my son, God's son. What is this? Today, 24, 25, 30 girls are not ready to get married. They want a career, they want other things to go in life. But there's 14, 15 years old girl being struck, disruptive. She takes the time and she says, yes, your will be done. Imagine what was being told to her. Mother of God's son. Huge title. No merit of her own. God's grace. Mary doesn't go trumpeting around. Mary doesn't go to the rooftops and say, I'm going to be the mother of God. She goes silently. She goes about her life. She's a woman of obedience. Whatever is being asked of her, God's will be done. And so you ask yourself, when God's will to be done in your life, when you listen to God speak to you, what is your reaction? And only in those moments when those are challenging circumstances, when things don't go your way, when things don't seem right to you, sickness, loss of job, loss of opportunities, what do you go through? Mary was struggling. She simply said, your will be done. I take another aspect, the one of prayer. Mary was able to be a person of faith, a woman of obedience, only because she was deeply rooted in her relationship with God. It was not about how many hours she prayed. Prayer is not about counting how many hours. Prayer is about getting into a relationship with God. And Mary was able to overcome every challenge of her life only because she was deeply rooted in a life of prayer with her God. So while everybody would run away from the cross, Mary was there. When the apostles were hiding in the upper room, shut doors and windows, afraid that the Romans and the other Jews would come and attack them, Mary was present with the apostles praying. She was giving them hope. When everything seemed lost, it was Mary's hope and prayer that gave hope to these men. And therefore, we are all called to cultivate a deep sense of prayer in our lives. Mary does not go around telling others how prayerful she is. She goes about silently. The Gospels don't want to enumerate on that. But Mary is there praying at the foot of the cross, praying with the apostles, waiting for the Son to come back. And so that's the challenge to model ourselves as Mary. Not going and flaunting how many lines I'm praying in the day, how many rosaries I'm saying, etc. It's just about praying silently, deepening our relationship with God to overcome our challenges. Prayer is not about saying, I want this and that, but prayer is about saying, Lord, your will be done. But when your will is being done, I may have the courage and perseverance to say, I am ready to cope with what is happening, not to run away. The third aspect I pick up from Mary is about her attitude of service. Mary is a person, when you look at her way of doing service, she doesn't show it off. The time she's pregnant, any woman who's pregnant, there are people talking about it, you're embarrassed. She goes to see her cousin, a person who was in age, a woman who not thought that she would have a child. She was way past that age, the mother of John the Baptist. Mary is not asked to go and help. Mary recognizing within her that there is another family member who needs assistance. She goes there, she's present there. God's will be done. Because when she goes there, Elizabeth asks her, why should the mother of my Lord come to me? That means she's not expecting her. Elizabeth is surprised, she's taken aback that Mary was struggling with her own pregnancy, trying to explain to community there, he's now come to help her. She doesn't go and tell everyone, I went to help Elizabeth. That is the attitude of service silently we are called to do. That we are at the service of our neighbors, our family members, our community, the church. We don't go to serve because we want something in return. Not because I want recognition. Not because my name should be put on the board somewhere. We come there because Mary and Jesus teaches us that we will be persons of service without expecting anything. You see Mary at Cana. Nobody asked her to help. She sees people in problem. His wine run out at the marriage. Embarrassing. She goes and tells her son Jesus, go do something. Mary does it silently. She recognizes what God asks of her. And the fourth place I see Mary being a silent witness is something very intriguing, something which people don't like, and that is suffering. From the time that Mary is asked to be the mother of God's Son, her problems begin from there, not her glorification. Her problems begin from there, trying to explain to society, trying to explain to Joseph, and then to have a child and then, go and bear the child in some decrepit place. No family members, nobody to help. First child, only child bearing. Mothers, you know what it is. You know what birthing is today. You want the most comfortable place, aqua birthing and all that. And there Mary is. No family members. There's a man next to her. I wonder what he understood about childbirth. God's Son in this place. So suffering goes on. Leave that place, go to another country. She becomes an immigrant, a migrant, gone to another country, does not know the language, not knowing what food they will eat, what people will do with them. She goes in faith. Her relationship is strong in her God. And then she comes back. She's not complaining, she's not grumbling. Go back to your home country. She comes back. And there again starts a new life. And then the son goes away, husband is dead. Can you see the problem she's having? And then suddenly she's told, now your son is on the cross, and she's there. She's a model of patient suffering. No grumbling, no complaining, no asking God, you made me the mother of your son, and why this? She suffers silently. She gives us a witness because she in her life experiences that God in her very deeply. So next time you have problems in life and you think, why this is happening in my life, just look at her and remind yourself that she bears everything silently. Because of a witness value, you and I, my dear sisters and brothers, parishioners under the patronage of Our Lady of Assumption, can take heart and say, this is what Mary endured. She never gave up, only because she had deep faith. She anchored her life in her God. And that's what you do these 9 days. Anchor your life in this God. Let these 9 days be a moment of change, of refreshment, that you will come out and say, I've changed. God has done this to me. Not about getting your things, what you pray for. That is one part of prayer. But you feel encouraged, you grow in faith, you deepen your life and say, God, this is what you have done for me. And I thank you. So we pray in silence, asking the Lord, the Father of all mercies, who entered the life of Mary, journeyed with her, encouraged her. She grew in her faith, she grew in her reliance, she trusted in her God, and her God never abandoned her.